Hi gorgeous souls, I am Chloe the Cosmic Mage, founder and creatrix of the weird and wonderful realm of mystic hearts. Today I am going to be doing a collective reading for us because today it's the full moon, which marks the lunar eclipse, which marks the end of this eclipse portal passageway. And I don't know about you, but it has been an intense and wild ride for me. They seem to get more and more and more intense as time goes on, which doesn't surprise me because that is the collective energy heightening as we are on this ascension timeline. So more of us are feeling it. More of us are being presented with our fears and our shadows in order to face them fiercely and become warriors of light and to really call our sovereignty back into us. And you'll know that from some of the content that I've shared this week, a lot of stuff has been coming up for me around relationships, around abundance, also like how I treat myself and how that has related to many different situations from my past. So yeah, a lot has been coming up. So if it's been coming up for me, there is no doubt it's been coming up for you. So I wanted to do a reading for us to give us some clarity on what this particular eclipse passageway or eclipse time period wants us to alchemize, wants us to work through, and also just some guidance for moving forwards, like what to do with some of this stuff that's come up during the eclipse. So I was guided to do a reading quite differently today. I normally do a spiral or a grid. I've been guided to do like 3 main decks of 3 cards each. So the central row will be from, funnily enough, the card deck that I always used to do my readings from, but the card deck disappeared, like full on disappeared for months. So it was like, no, you're going to take a break from the deck now. And then when I was having this like clear out and retidying my altar, I swear to you, the deck just appeared out of thin air, reappeared out of thin air. So she's calling me today. And that deck is the Lightworker Oracle by Alana Fairchild. I love working with this deck because it's so powerful. It really embodies for me the spiritual awakening journey and also like the spiral of it, you know, that it's never ending. And I do feel that these sensations and experiences that were presented to us this eclipse were almost like testing us, of being like, I'm going to push you a little bit harder, push you to the edge of your comfort zone to see how ready you are, how ready and willing you are, you know, to face those fears and become this really strong, sovereign version of yourself. Becoming a badass, that's what we're here for, right? So I'm going to start with that deck, and then I'm going to choose some beautiful, beautiful cards from the Dark Moon Oracle by Yasmin Boland. I mean, it's just so fitting for this eclipse cycle that we've been in. And then I'm going to get some messages from nature and a couple of other bonuses. So I really hope you enjoy this reading with me. Let's see what comes through. So I'm going to do like the central line. So calling upon the Lightworker Oracle, please can we have 3 cards, the middle card being the center of this entire reading and the 2 cards either side helping to bring depth and clarity to the central card of the reading today. And this will be messages to help us navigate the messages of, well, the lessons of the eclipse. I'm just going to put that back in the deck because I haven't finished with the intention. So messages and lessons of this particular eclipse passageway, what we are being presented with, and what we are being encouraged to heal through, and also what we may be transforming or transitioning into after this time period. So after today, when the lunar eclipse has passed. Oh, okay, that one flew out. There we go. Next two cards, please. So we've got the center of the deck coming, and then one more card on the other side of that. Wow. Okay. Center of the deck, center of this entire reading. Dark Night of the Soul. Dark Night of the Soul. Now, if I could describe Eclipse energy, it would definitely be like a dark night of the soul. Like everything as we know it is getting flipped inside out, turned upside down, shadows being put in our face so that we can't wear a mask anymore, we can't pretend anymore. Dark night of the souls are absolutely necessary in order for us to grow and change and transform. Dark nights of the soul are moments in our life where it can be like a huge life event can happen, or it can just feel like this total disassociation where we suddenly feel like we don't connect to anything anymore, nothing makes sense anymore, because it's like an ego death. Essentially, a dark night of the soul is an ego death. So it's the crumbling of everything that we have attached meaning to in our lives, and it crumbles away so that we can build ourselves from the ashes of that fire. Sorry, there's just some notification popping up. We don't want that. And I love this as well because, you know, that's like the dying in the fire and then the being reborn. So there's a very alchemical energy here. So for those of you who are really feeling lost and confused, like you're floating in the dark, you don't know where to go, if you feel like disaster is surrounding you, try and lean into that because you are on the right path. We can so often try to resist crumblings and dark nights of the soul that we're actually resisting our own healing and our own inner alchemy. Should have guessed really that would be the center of this deck with how I've been feeling. Yeah, I've just been feeling super exhausted, I have to say, this last 2 weeks. Dark night of the soul. And then on either side of that, we've got initiation by air, which is a cracking open of the heart, which is really exciting. You know, if we allow ourselves to surrender to the crumbling, to the darkness, to the shattering of everything that we once thought was true, it's actually going to allow our hearts to open. But it's only through this essentially breaking apart and falling apart and allowing ourselves to let go of what we once thought was true, or perhaps even what we thought our life would be. Total crumbling and letting go of that. I've had a good few dark night of the souls, and they've always been huge turning points in my life and on my healing journey. And then, I mean, another amazing card either side of that is Master Healing. Master Healing 33, and again, it's in the heart. So we're going through this big heart awakening and initiation, but it can only be through stepping into the fires of our own darkness and our own crumbling and this dark night of the soul, this huge ego death of being like, I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind. Hooray, finally. And the Master Healing, this one for me is finding that inner wisdom and that inner teacher within. So the dark night of the soul is the crumbling of the education systems, the programmings, the controlling, the family influence, the cultural conditioning, religious programming, all of that, crumbling that away. So we can find that teacher and that wisdom from deep within. And it's beautiful, you know, it's that open crown chakra, opening up to the cosmic wisdom, but also this beautiful, you know, the written wisdom. And I look at that as like very earthly wisdom, or wisdom that's been passed down from human to human. But there's definitely this balancing here of both cosmic, earthly and inner energies. It's a lot of alchemical references are coming through. It's as within, so without, as above, so below. It's coming back into this truth of who we are, but it's going to take some bravery to get there. Okay, I'm going to go to the dark moon first, and I'm going to ask the dark moon cards for some more information and more guidance around this dark night of the soul. Are there any more specific messages around this? Some depth to this dark night of the soul? Any particular healing or guidance that we can turn to during this dark night of the soul? And this is messages for the collective, please, for the collective energy in specific relation to the ending of this eclipse passageway that we're in. Give us some extra support and messages from the dark moon, perhaps dark goddesses, messages around shadow work. There's two there, is it those two? Thank you. Ooh, this is cool. One more card, please. These are so hard to shuffle because they're circular. One more card, please, from the Dark Moon Oracle to support the understanding of this dark night of the soul. One more card, please. It's slipping out of my hands. Seems like only two want to come through. Is there only two? Is there only two? Or is there one more? One more card, because I was guided to do 333. Okay. Thank you. Oh, wow. Okay. We have two dark goddesses. Two dark goddesses. But what's interesting is at the centre, which is right above Dark Night of the Soul, we have adventure. Adventure. So this is really beautiful. I love this card. Adventuring into the unknown. Getting out of our comfort zone. Yeah, that's the message. So the specifics around this dark night of the soul is getting ourselves out of our comfort zone. Pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zone. And isn't that just such a beautiful message? So this dark night of the soul is going to be presenting fears to us that are going to help us to understand what is holding us back, so we can step into that adventure and step into the unknown, stepping out of our comfort zone. On either side of that, we have two goddesses. We have Nyx, the goddess of night, And we have Persephone, goddess of the underworld. We have the snake there. For the goddesses, I actually want to read the guidance for them because it's really powerful, powerful messages. And you may choose, whilst you're going through this dark night of the soul, to call upon these goddesses to guide you, because it's really beautiful. It's like they are either side of that adventure. So they are here as guardians, as gatekeepers, as protectors of us on this journey. Right, let's find these. So we'll go to Persephone first of all. Okay. So this is a sign of healing, necessary healing. Dark night of the soul. Don't allow anyone to manipulate you. Trust the cyclical nature of life. Trust in these cycles. Trust in this darkness. See a healer. Take charge of your situation. Explore the possibility that you could also be a healer. There will be moments of darkness, but they're not to be feared. The dark, like the dark moon, holds the power of death and rebirth. Release the old, the painful, and the limiting, so you can make space for the new. The messages that are coming through here is that if you are in a dark night of the soul and fears are really being presented to you, that you feel you just cannot get past or you're very stuck, this sign is confirming, you know, see a healer, and like now is the time to really dive deep into the healing. I've spoken about last year was definitely a dark night of the soul for me. I broke up with a relationship, I lost my home, so many things happened, like I wasn't working, all of these things, and I think I had at least 3, maybe 4 past life healings, which were like hidden witch wounds. Really dive deep into those fears. And you know, when we're going through a dark night of the soul, we can automatically want to go inwards or like hide away, when actually one of the most powerful things we can do is just be like, what have I got to lose? I'm just going to go all in and dive deep into the darkness and into the depths and do the healing work and come out rising from the ashes. Okay, amazing. Let's see what Nyx has to say. Ooh, embrace the mystery. Yes, embrace the mystery. Let go of fear and embrace the mystery. What was I saying? The dark night of the soul. It's just, this is all showing up for us to start facing our fears and embracing them. Let go of fear and lean into the mystery. What you need to know will reveal itself in time. So we are being pulled into the darkness to release control, to stop us from trying to control everything like we are being controlled or under the illusion of external control. Don't be afraid of the darkness. Use your intuition as your guide. Pay attention to your dreams. Yes, these very important dreams have been incredibly vivid during this eclipse passageway. Pay attention to them. Release fear. Release fear. Yep. This is the messages and the channelings that I've been receiving really strongly in these last few days, not only for me, but really for the collective. In the stillness of the dark, your subconscious mind is working, and visions of the future are starting to shape. Let go of fear and lean into the mystery. what I'm also getting coming through is that this is a sign that we are really going to be stepping into our multidimensionality, into our more mystical experience of reality. And this means we can't use the logical mind to work things out or make it happen. We have to learn to have faith, and we have to learn to just lean in, and we have to learn to let go of fear and trust in miracles, magic, and mystery. And that can be very, very hard for our mind to let go. But that is what the dark night of the soul is here to assist with, the shattering of the ego that doesn't want to let go. That doesn't want to think that we're losing our shit and losing our mind. But when we lose our mind, we come into the heart. And the heart, remember, initiation by air, it's that liberation, it's that freedom. It's time and space all in one place. It's everything all at once. Expansiveness, magic, miracles. Okay, really, really powerful. Okay, we're going to come to the Nature's Whispers decks now. What I would like is some messages of the healing moving forward. So when we have faced our fears and really surrendered into this dark night of the soul, stepped out of our comfort zone into adventures, we've done the healing work, what is going to come after that? What is the purpose of all of this? And is there any messages from nature that want to come through right now that is going to support this journey that is probably going to be quite confronting for a lot of us? Help us to understand some of the purpose of this. 3 cards, please. From nature, the Nature's Whispers deck. Any healing, confirmation, understanding. This can be for now, or it can be moving forwards. Thank you. Oh, beautiful. Okay. Really lovely. 2 more cards, please. What is the purpose of all of this? Okay. Oh my goodness, I could actually cry. This is so beautiful. And this just solidifies everything that I say, that I teach, that I preach, that I practice about doing our shadow work, facing the dark, really ugly goblin parts of us, because it serves a higher purpose. Without the darkness, the light cannot exist. Without darkness, how would we know that there was light? How would light even be seen and be experienced? Darkness is the balance. Dark night of the soul, facing our fears, doing the healing work, stepping out of our comfort zone, which is going to help us to have this big heart opening initiation, which is going to help us to step into our own inner mastery, connecting cosmically to the heart, to the earth. So we get this master healing our own internal wisdom. What is the point of it all? Well, so that we can truly show up in the world and be of service. Be of service. I believe that, a lot of us want to help others, but until we have helped ourselves, we cannot truly show up and be of service in the world. But this is the point of all of this. To serve ourselves is to serve the world. Be in service. Look at this, the centre of the deck. Hope and happiness. This was the one that nearly had me crying. Hope and happiness. The whole point of this darkness, this struggle, this confrontation, these shadows, this dark night of the soul, these fears that we are facing is because hope and happiness are attainable for us. Hope and happiness, isn't that all why we're here? Because we want to see a better world. Hope and happiness, it's there, it's in our grasp. But we've got to become strong and warriors and know our worth. And know that what we're seeing in the world is an embodiment of our shadows. But we've also got to get strength to say no. We don't want this world anymore. And then also higher ground. Higher ground. Again. Higher ground. Higher self. The rose. The sign of deep healing and deep love. Self-love. Unconditional love. Deep, deep, deep healing. Reaching that higher ground. So all of these cards are incredibly high vibrational. By going on this deep initiation journey that I believe this eclipse passageway has only just pushed us to the edge of. I feel like we're on the edge of this dark night of the soul. This is bringing up these clues for us of the dark night of the soul. And if those of us who are truly ready to fall backwards into the abyss, it's going to be incredibly powerful. We're going to step into a brand new heart ascension initiation. We're going to tap into greater depths of our inner wisdom, connecting cosmically, magically, multidimensionally. And it's going to be helping us to show up in the world and be of service, hope and happiness, and to create a higher ground, be in this state of higher vibration. So beautiful. And what I really love about this higher ground is that there's a child there. That's hope for the next generation. And also, if we look at higher ground, I also believe this to be a sign of a different perspective. So looking down on the earth, not looking down on it as in, looking down on it, looking at the earth from this higher perspective, from the lens of love, and from the lens of healing, and just having a completely different perspective where we are separated from the pain and the suffering and the programming on earth, but actually reaching this higher ground and this higher perspective. Oh, wow. Okay, this is great. I was thinking at the start of this reading, no one's going to want to watch my readings again because they're all telling me what I don't want to know. But this is amazing. What I also want to pull is a bonus card from the Oracle of the Witch. And this is going to be a card, please, for the collective of a magical practice or a ritual that can really help us with this journey at this time. A card for the collective, please, for a magic ritual that will best help and serve the collective at this time. Doesn't seem like a card wants to come through from this deck. Is there a card that wants to come through from the Oracle of the Witch? Sometimes there's no messages that want to come through, and that's fine. I'm going to leave that deck and come instead to the ethereal waters. And by the way, when that happens, if you find that you're shuffling a deck and no cards either jump out, or oftentimes it's like a card will just slide up the deck like that. If that doesn't happen after speaking an intention, I usually just leave the deck. We never want to force the messages or force spirit. This one feels more relevant. And this is the Ethereal Waters Oracle. This is actually an anonymous oracle deck, which I find really mysterious. Are there any messages, final messages for this eclipse reading today, or full moon reading, that want to come through, please, for the collective? And these are like affirmations. Okay. Please make sure that it's just 1 or 2 cards so that the message is crystal clear. Ooh, okay, this is nice. That's beautiful. Oh, okay. The moonlit current. Soft, shifting and knowing. Ooh. That is really giving that mystical essence. And what this is telling me is that today, and over these next couple of days where we are still under the light of the full moon, leaning in to that softness and that stillness, listening to the whispers of our intuition, and we're just going to be floating on that current. Also remember that in the dark night of the soul, when we're really crumbling and it feels like everything's falling apart, that can be times when we have our most esoteric, mystical, out-of-body, multidimensional experiences, which is what this is representing. I feel we shouldn't fear the darkness. We shouldn't fear the darkness anymore. Actually, you know, even fearing the darkness is programming, because the darkness is innately part of us. Dark is dark, light is light. Moonlit current, soft, shifting and knowing. Soft, shifting and knowing. That's also a very divine, dark, feminine energy. Soft, shift and knowing. How can we soften into these big transitions, knowing that it's for our highest and greatest good, and just allowing the wisdom of our breaking and of our falling apart to shine through from the ashes of the dark night of the soul. Whew. I feel like even doing that reading was like a healing initiation for me. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. Please let me know in the comments your thoughts, your feelings. If you have any questions, or you need some support about your dark night of the soul, about dark goddesses, about facing your shadows, or anything else that was mentioned in the reading that you would like clarified, please do let me know in the comments. I absolutely love engaging and interacting with you. It brings me so much joy, and I don't want you to witness me talking about things and not understand them. Let me know. Let me know how I can serve you best. But yeah, please do let me know where this reading lands for you. And if you enjoyed this reading, donations are my love language. I love gifts, and I use your donations to buy new oracle decks and upgrade my equipment so that my content can be better, hopefully, each time. So yeah, highly appreciated. You can find those links in the description and the comments of this video. If you would like a one-to-one session with me, my most popular service is called the one-to-one witch activation. I also do darkness clearings, and I do inner child healings. I also do oracle card readings, so you can go ahead and explore all of that on my website, mystichearts.org, and it would be an honor to hold the space for you to open your heart and start your self-healing journey. Thank you so much, everyone. We've got this. I know that in the next few days I'm going to be taking a step back inside of myself to bring awareness to myself, and I hope that you can be soft, shifting and knowing at this powerful time. I love you.